So here's a wee idea for you. This is a plastic aquarium plant that I got from Temu, and you may think that it's maybe a wee bit on the large side for our purposes, but you know, sometimes as your adventurers are going out through the wilderness, they may come across an unusual plant. Maybe the herbalist in the party can do something with it, make an antidote or a potion of some kind, or maybe it's actually sentient and carnivorous. But something which stands out from the crowd is going to give your party pause for concern. Now, yes, it's green and white. Just to make it stand out a little bit, I am going to quickly give it a wee touch up on those flowers at the top, and this is blood red, because why not make them think it's something carnivorous? So all I'm going to do is just add a wee bit of splot on the top like that, just to make it stand out a bit more. And no, I'm not being particularly careful here, just as long as I'm catching the tips, because things in nature aren't that regular. But it has given a nice wee bit of spot colour on an otherwise semi-boring plant. Alright, I will pop that to one side to dry and prepare the base. And just like the other scattered foliage that I did, the other bushes, I'm going to use a poker chip for the base. And I am just roughing it up with a bit of sandpaper so that it will take some glue and some paint, and I do want it sanded around the sides this time, because to make it fit in with the rest of my set, I am not going to be sort of chamfering it down at an angle. Now, because I am going to be using some hot glue, I am going to make that area in the centre just a wee bit rougher, and I'm doing some angled cuts in there just to give the hot glue a bit of a chance to catch onto something. Paint's now dry on there, which is good. So let's snip the bottom of that off, because we don't need that massive long stalk. And we'll just get a nice big dab of hot glue in the centre there, and then our plant goes slap bang in the middle of it. Just give that a few seconds to dry, and we'll crack straight onto the painting. And again, for those of you who have a problem with paint adhering to hot glue, let's just use a quick spritz of hairspray, get some brown paint, and we'll just make sure that we get that hot glue covered over like so, and get rid of those poker chip markings. And I'll set that one aside to dry, and then we've just got ground cover to do. Now, the last time I did these, I put multiple plant types on the same base, but because we have sort of like a backstory, because this is a special plant, I am just leaving the one on there. But to make it stand out a wee bit further, instead of putting the mulch around like I did last time, I am going to pop some coarse turf on, and it's just a thick splotch of PVA, and I'm just making sure that I pick up that sort of hot glue seal, because that could do with being covered over. I've got two colours of coarse turf to put on there. This is the darker stuff, and just get it on and get it pressed down. Alright, that's starting to look the part already, and we will let that set for a little while before I move on to the next colour. And then we repeat exactly the same process, just a little bit further out, and we're going to use the lighter green this time. Just get it pressed down. And then that can dry for a little while. And then our last step in just finishing it off, I've got some watered down PVA, and we're just going right around the edges just to cover all of that poker chip and blend in the foliage, and then sprinkle some of that on and leave it to dry. And of course, remember, if you want to keep yourself off the naughty list, you should subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.